The following program may contain scenes with mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey guys, so this is part 2 of the Unsolved Case Files game. Sorry it has taken this long. I've been very busy. So in the last video, I did go through it rather fast. So here is what we know so far. Her name is Jamie Banks. Let me get her photo out here. Oh geez, gonna lose all my paperwork. Anyway, this is Jamie Banks, 18-year-old high school student found dead in the back of her school on Friday morning at 10:10 a.m. So only 2 people are my main suspects right now because she was found surrounded by like all these like teachers and students had gathered a crowd around her body. Investigators came and they found that like they made it amid suicide because like, oh, she jumped out of the 6-foot floor of her school, and they just chalked it up to suicide. And they're pretty much blaming it on the fact that her last place she was in, she didn't do well. She kind of bombed, and that was like the MO for her suicide, apparent suicide. And I reread the news article. I'll show you guys right here. There's this little tiny news article, and I read through it, and I went through it a little more in depth than I did the first time. And the peers were saying that like she'll be remembered by being well liked. And one of the students had said, oh, she was always up to something. Now, you can take that in or out of context, but when I get she was always up to something, I'm taking that as she was always like doing something theatrical or being a part of something maybe. But then there could be like a really dark twist, meaning like she was always either like going somewhere where she shouldn't. You know, because I know she was murdered. She had to have been. That's just my thoughts allegedly, because nothing else really checks out. And so last time we had on the video the surveillance footage. Now, I think Stu killed her, if I'm being honest, because he's the one who called authorities originally. Whereas Robert, right down here, Robert Romero, was the student in surveillance footage at around 10:10 a.m. who found said body. So it's interesting to see, and I saw this just before I started filming, and there's an Unsolved Case Files little thing right here in the beginning, and it says case file number whatever. It's really long and I'm too lazy to read it. Anyway, objective number 1, prove someone was in the room with Jamie. 1 out of 3. Now, my proof, I would say personally, from just my own little investigative fingers. And before we get into this, by the way, to D who commented on my video, thank you. You're very thorough. Like, seriously opening my eyes. So smart. Anyway, that being said, I am going to say, I want to say Stu killed her. Because, like, she's laying down, right, for, like, at least 8 slides. And it isn't until the very end that somebody's seen her, a.k.a. Robert, right? So, right away, if Stu had called authorities without even going down to the body, that right there, right? So, that's just my thought. And it says case objective number 1, prove someone was in the room with Jamie. When you prove someone was in the room with Jamie just before she died, visit the webpage and see if we're right. So we go to unsolvedcasefiles.com/Jamie-1. So let's do that. Okay, so here we are. It says, can you prove Jamie was alone? Use the form below to verify your answers to objective number 1. Okay, so which document on this list below proves Jamie was not alone when she fell? The 6x9 senior photo of Jamie Banks, the article on a closer look, our star running back's disappointing end, Veronica Voice student newspaper, case closure recommendation memo, coroner's investigation report, evidence custody document, security camera video frames printout, the East Verona High School picture on the bleachers. Okay, that we did not look at. Oops, Jesus. Okay, so we have, I'm gonna break this, good gosh. Okay, so we have this. This is that camera video frames printout. And then the witness statement from Craig Zimmerman. Wow, I really fucked up. Oh my god. Okay, so here is the East Front. Okay, so I guess I probably should have looked at all the evidence. This is why I don't work in criminal justice. Good Christ. Okay, let's get down to it. Oh, these are the witness statements from the crime report. Okay, and we've read all those. Person of interest from Dr. Benjamin. Yeah. Person of interest form Johnny. Person of interest form. Okay, so I'm going to just go with what really made us think that she wasn't alone. And I'm going to say the security footage. Right? Like the security evidence photo. Like that to me is solid evidence. So it says click here for verification. Oh God. And it says at the bottom, okay, so before I hit it, it says, please note, you can get up to 3 hints after entering an incorrect answer. So that's good. Let's see if maybe I didn't get her. Oh, you have to hit multiples. Can you prove Jamie was alone? Okay, so we're going to go with the security camera printout. And we'll go with the witness statements, actually. Because these are witness statements. Case closure recommendation. No, we're not going to go off of that. The evidence custody document. No. I'm going to actually... What should we choose? Let's see. Like the witness statements. Let's see. I'm going to actually get rid of this chunk of film because I'm embarrassed by myself. Okay, I'm going to look at let's look at all the evidence because I done fucked up. Okay, so clearly, yeah. All right, it comes with a little paper clip. All right, so this is witness statement form from Janice Dowling, and that is the principal. Remember, there was that photo here. Let's see if I can find. Well, it's all in that envelope. Janice Dowling is the principal. Brown hair, glasses, right? Okay. Her number, and here's her narrative. Today is the worst day of my 17-year teaching career. I'm overwhelmed with grief, but I thoroughly understood the need to conduct a full investigation. Okay. We canceled third period today for our all school pep rally because the football team is playing in the state championships tonight. Third period starts at 10 a.m. We took a few minutes gathering students on the bleachers so Marilyn Roberts could take an after-school picture. So we had to get finished at around 10 okay. I'm sorry. I'm just going to show you guys. It's going to be painful. It's cursive. When was the last time any of us had to read cursive? So it says we had just finished at around 10 a.m. after when Robert Ramiro came running into the gym screaming for help. I called Mrs. Hawkeye to watch over the students while Mr. Griffin, Mr. Collier, Mrs. Stayroom, whatever, her last name, it's hard to say, it's cursive again, sorry. And I went to see what happened. That's when I saw Jamie on the ground. Sophie Sunday, Olivia Underwood were near her body. Mrs. Stayroom immediately checked for attempt to provide, okay, so she was just there to provide medical attention. But it was clear she was gone. Okay, so checked Oh, her vital signs. Okay, so the nurse of the school, Mrs. Stason, checked for vital signs and attempted to provide medical attention, but it was clear she was gone, like meaning Jamie was like dead. I asked Robert Ramiro what happened. He says he was washing his hands in the first floor bathroom when he heard a scream and a loud cracking noise. Okay, so he ran outside and saw Jamie lying on the ground and immediately ran to the gym to notify us. As I looked up and saw the open window of the 5th floor above us, it became clear what had happened. I was trying to determine which room had the open window, and as I realized it was the newspaper room, and emotions overwhelmed me. So that is the statement from the principal, Janice Dowling. So I'm going to remove this little paper clip maybe. Oh God, there's so much. Okay. I see now why there's paper clips. Okay, so that's from Janice Dowling. That is the principal, right? So that's what she is saying. This is her whole... Who is this? Okay, that's just the same thing. Okay, so on the back, I started getting lightheaded and was about to sit down on the ground when I noticed everyone staring at me. So I paused and I took a deep breath. This is her narrative continued. As I told Mrs. Griffin to go up to the 6th floor, to guard the newspaper room door until the police got there. Okay. I told the students to sit down by the building and stay there until I returned for them. I told Miss Stason, okay, I can't say her last name. Okay, to remain with the body and make sure no one interfered in any way. Okay, so I'm going to actually just go over these and not keep reading them because you're going to fall asleep, because that's just halfway through one statement. And then we have another long-ass statement from Robert Ramiro, the guy who found Jamie's body. And then we have statements from Craig Zimmerman. So these are those witness statements that is saying on the list. There's a lot of information we still have to check. And then Joy Ferrari, and this is her. She saw the body, Jamie's body. And there's a lot of stuff to go on for all of this. So I'm going to read them, and then as I finish, I'm going to just summarize what each statement was, so that we can get through this a lot quicker, so that I'm not making you fall asleep with my slow-ass 5th grade reading skill. So the summarization of the principal, she got students together, and this was just before 10 a.m., just around 10 a.m. when they finished everything, and she was getting people ready because they have a big football game coming up. And so they're excused from 3rd period. And then, she was interrupted by Robert. He came in saying, "Hey, somebody died. Holy crap, I am scared." So then, she was like, "Oh, shit, okay." And, she had seen something from the floor that they were at, on the 5th floor. And then she looked out and realized, oh crap, something did go down. And so she made sure that all the students were put aside and away from the body until until the police got there. She had one of the teachers, Mrs. Starum, I don't know how to say her last name properly, she had her go and look and stay guard by the door of said newspaper room, because that's another thing prior to saying that, that the principal saw when they were at the 5th floor. She realized, oh God, somebody fell from the top floor. What direction is this body in? And then she found it was the newsroom, and that's why she sent the teacher up there to guard. So that's her statement, and yeah. So she was just getting statements from everybody else. Well, she recommended getting a statement from the guidance counselor as well. She also states here at the end, he reads up the newspaper. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he reads up the newspaper. So you also might want to talk to her drama teacher, Mr. Peekins. She was playing... Oh, yeah, Mr. Peekins. She was playing guitar in the school play, so he must have been working solely with her. Okay, so the teacher was working with her. Okay, Mr. Peekins, especially the girls. Okay, so that right there is scary, right? Like, that's not okay. So if there's anything else I can help you with, please let me know. So she's saying here that there are teachers and everybody else working alongside her. So that's her statement. We're going to raid on to Robert Ramiro's statement, who originally ran and found her body and got somebody alerted. Which I still think Stu must have killed her, because regardless of these statements, Stu Collier called. He had called. But Robert found her body. So far I'm still going off of that. I don't know what Stu's MO would be, but hopefully by reading all of these and giving a summary, we can find out a lot more. Sorry I keep flip-flopping, y'all. If you unsubscribe, I won't blame you. But I'm just realizing, reading a chunk of Robert's statement here, it is really important that I don't just summarize, because... No. Listen to his statement, right? Because there's going to be double sides for all of these regardless. So be prepared. Long video, but let's figure this out. So Robert says, I was the first one to find Jamie's body. Seeing her laying there was a horrible experience. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. I'm still really shaken up about the whole thing. I was in the first floor bathroom and lost track of time because I kept reading Craig's review over and over again. Best review I've ever gotten. Because, yeah, Jamie was the only one who, like, completely, like, shit the bucket on that load, right? On that whole play. So, whereas he got a really, obviously, outstanding review. Anyway, but then I realized I was late for pep rally. So I was rushing to wash my hands and leave when I heard her. It was about 10 minutes after the bell rang for third period. So it was probably about 10:10 a.m., which is when her body was found, and hence everybody found out and stuff, right? So it was a weird sound. I heard a woman scream and then something hitting the ground really hard. So speaking of that, I was reading the comment under the video, and yeah, the window to the newspaper room is quite small. So when Dee was, like, when they wrote underneath and they said that, I was like, oh, okay, that's actually true. Because then looking back at the photo, right, the newspaper room has a very small window, and you're like, Beth, quick, you just read the fucking statement. I know. But it has to do with her fall. And anyway, if she had fallen out the window, Dee makes a good point by saying you'd have to take a running jump. You can't just jump out this window because the opening is quite small. Instead, newspaper room. So the truth is, yeah, you'd have to take a running jump out that window in order to get out, because it's not like that full. Like, she was 112 pounds and like 5'6", so she was like quite small, but still you'd have to take a running jump. Sorry for the lights, but yeah, like right there, right? So that's just something there. Anyway, so he says and continues saying, I kneeled down beside Jamie. It was a surreal moment, since it was exactly like we had rehearsed so many times. Act 5, Scene 3. So Act 5, Scene 3 is when they both die of poison in Romeo and Juliet. Act 5, Scene 3, from what I remember, if I am wrong, please correct me, because it's been forever, but I was obsessed with this. Anyway, in Act 5, Scene 3, both Romeo and Juliet take the poison, and one of them falls. Like, she finds Romeo dead, right? Or he finds her dead, rather. And then he takes the poison and kills himself. And he's like, you know, eyes look your last, lips take your last, or arms take your last embrace. And anyway, so the way she is placed on the floor is how she looked in the play, which is makes you wonder then if Stu came down, but there's nothing on CCTV like closed captioning surveillance footage. So I'm not sure, but anyway, only this time we weren't acting. Okay, so her body laid that way. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm going to keep that as a note in the back of my head, but maybe it's nothing. She was perfectly motionless. No noise, no movement, just laying there, dead. It took me a moment to realize I needed to get help, and everybody was in the gym. So I ran over there and got Mrs. Dowling and a bunch of other teachers and brought them back to her. Yeah, because her body was found in the back of the school. I can understand why she might lose it with all the pressure she was under. So there are other components outside of this play. Interesting. She was playing the lead female in the school play, and that's more than enough pressure for one person. Yeah, I suppose. You can take my word for that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because you guys are teenagers, not professional actors. I get that. Okay. So the amount of work and time you have to put into theater is incredible. The night before the opening performance, Jamie was up until midnight working on the sunset on our set background. So not only is she doing like the lead, they said something about her learning to play guitar in this play, and now she's doing backstage theater things. So yeah, she was always up to something. So it makes you wonder who else is involved. Like, is it just Stu? Like, did she piss somebody off? But then, Stu's the only one in the room at the time, so he's the only suspect in my eyes. That being said, back to this whole statement. I think she even used her own money to buy paint, because I heard Mr. Preakness say something about paying her back. Okay. And that's sad. Why wouldn't a school have enough money for supplies like that? Especially if that's something you always do at your school, but alrighty. Okay. She was also writing for the newspaper and had a big exposure coming up that people were talking about. Everybody was trying to guess who it was about. Oh, fuck. Okay, so that already opens more shit. So not only is Stu a suspect, who was she writing this piece on? Because those two fuckers are the next. I'm sorry for all the swearing, but no. Those two already. I don't know who this second person is, but okay. I don't think they will cancel Saturday's performance because I have incredible chemistry with Jamie's understudy. Olivia and I have a cosmic connection and can feel it when we rehearse. Oh, bullshit. Okay. Well, no, not really. Anyways, Mr. Preakness knows I wanted Olivia to be my Juliet, but he did not take kindly to my creative input on the matter. Oh, because they had a little flingy fling. Okay. I'm assuming, just going off of that. Anyway, I believe we should probably donate a portion of proceeds from Saturday's performance to Jamie's family, or maybe the suicide hotline or something. As the lead male for the production, it's my responsibility to take charge on initiatives like that, so I'm going to ask Mr. Preakness if he can do that. Signed by Detective Sherman and Robert Romero. So that's his. This guy, in my opinion, sounds innocent. Only because he was so open with everything. Maybe he's just a really good con man. I don't know. But he just sounds like a dude who was like, yeah, I was the lead. It was good times. And it sounds like he knows about gossip in the school, but like he doesn't want to come out and say. Why is he holding back? I still have many questions. But so far in my mind, he and the principal are innocent. Because the principal's just doing her own thing, doing her job, And then you got Robert here who's like, oh, I really totally got like so good at this. Oh my God, look at me. So on to the third the third one. And this is Craig Zimmerman's police report. So let's read and see what that has to do. Has to do with things, right? Okay, so Craig Zimmerman. I was sitting next to Liz Adams at the pep rally when Robert Romero came running through the doors, and Mrs. Dowling and a few teachers ran out there after him, right? Because she had gathered teachers and staff, right? And that one teacher to block the door. Okay. We had no idea what was going on at first. So within a few minutes, there was a buzz among the crowd that someone had jumped. I started frantically looking around the room for Jamie because I was already worried about how she was reacting to the horrible review I wrote. Okay, so he wrote the review, right? Because what's his name just said that. So okay, he's panicking because right now he's like, oh God, am I a murderer? You know, like I'm just gonna say, just by that statement right here, when he said, I was already worried about how she was acting to the horrible review I wrote. If you're a murderer, you have no fucking remorse. You don't give a shit. Like, you can lie about it, but you're not ever really good at it. Well, that's not true, but he's a high school kid. And they suck at lying. I would know, I was once one. And I thought I was, like, so good. So I'm just going off of that as my own initiative for it. So let's keep going. Then I heard someone say her name. At first, I didn't want to accept it. I hoped that somehow I had heard wrong. But then Principal Dowling approached me and said the police might need to talk to me about the review. I knew it was real. So, yeah, right there. Because he would be a suspect, right? Because he did write... He did write something, you know, kind of rude, and they'll be like, oh, were you bullying? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever police ask him. Well, you know. I was ushered into Principal Dowling's office with a few other students. We all sat there for an hour in silence, stunned. Jamie was one of my closest friends. Okay. Well, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer, kind of thing, right? Keep that in the back of your head. I'm doing that. That's what I do. Anyway, we had our ups and downs, and it was upsetting to me that we couldn't be more than friends. Oh, he liked her. Ooh, kissy, kissy. Anyway, but I'm horrified to think she killed herself over what I wrote. I feel so guilty and ashamed. Right there, that makes him innocent. Okay? This isn't no crime of passion. Like, I know 9 times out of 10 when it does come to murder, and it's a couple, it's a crime of passion compared to blah, blah, blah as a component, right? But there are so many people at stake. Like, right now, my 2 suspects, just going off of this, and Principal Dowling's whole writing, and her, statement, her witness statement, I think it's that fucking teacher, Mr. Preakness, because they were working together privately. Like, was it privately or was it privately? Because, some of that shit, as gross as it is, that shit happens, and that's what's disgusting. So, was that a thing? Was she going to make an article about something like that? Because she had the tea on someone, and she was working in the newspaper lab, right? So, and it's either her or Stu in my mind right now as main suspects just reading this statement. So he doesn't have a statement in the back. So let's keep going. Okay, and he wanted it to be more. He felt so guilty and ashamed. I even met with Mr. Gelding, second period, before the pep rally. He pulled me out of Mrs. Marston's, that's an ugly last name, class to talk about the review, and together we came up with a plan to try to fix the mistake. Gelding was always looking out for Jamie. So Gelding. Mr. Gelding. So, he is a suspect. He's the male teacher. I couldn't read the principal's cursive, but yeah, Mr. Gelding and Stu Collier. Those are my 2 suspects right now. That's mine. Let me know down below what you think so far. Anyway, but it was too late. All I wanted was for her to give me a chance. Oh, could be crime of passion. Because he could be a psycho like the guy off of You, right? Oh, all I wanted was for you to give me a chance, right? Oh, fuck. Anyway, we got along so well. She said her heart belonged to another man, but she couldn't reveal who it was yet. It's Mr. Gelding. I totally have a gut feeling Gelding. Ooh, okay, I have a theory. I'm sorry to get off track, but hear me out. Hold on. I've got an itchy nose. Hold on. Get this. This is my little theory. Okay, so Gelding and Jamie Banks, this is my theory, where, you know, kissy kissy, touchy touchy, moo moo moo. And I bet you anything, this Craig guy had a crush on her, didn't know she was with someone, caught them, because her and this teacher had been working privately a lot together, right? So, that being said, he probably saw it, and then she could have formulated some sort of lie, or she found out something even deeper. I don't know. I think in terms of murder, Craig, Gelding, and Stu are suspects. Because Craig is the guy who loves her, well, loved her, and he wanted her all to himself, but she belonged to somebody else. Gelding's a suspicious teacher. He is primary suspect because he could have even been in the room, but even Stu called. So maybe it was a double murder in the sense that they both did. Like Gelding and Stu both killed her. And then Stu's like, well, I'll be innocent and call the school. Where was Gelding at this time? Am I making any sense? I hope so. Anyway, okay. But it was too late. All I wanted was for her to give me a chance. So we got along so well. She said her heart belonged to another man, but she couldn't reveal who it was yet. Or others could get hurt. Yeah, it's the teacher. She totally is fucking... She's pulling an Arya and Ezra. You know? Okay. So it's not like Jamie at all to have an affair. So I assume she had made it all up to blow me off. That's why I was so upset. That's why I wrote that horrible review. Okay, so he's innocent then. He was just hurt. So he's like, I'm going to say mean things. So his article's a lie. He's not a violent person. He's just an angsty, heartbroken teenager. So Craig now is off my list. But it's Gelding and Stu for fucking sure. Anyway, his last sentence wrote, I thought she was the one, and now I'm quite certain my words have killed her. Well, he is definitely an innocent man. Well, an innocent boy, because he's not even fucking legal. He's a fucking kid. But anyway, that being said, he's off my suspect list. Let's read on to number 4. We have Joey Ferrari. Joey Ferrari. Okay. And Joey Ferrari, date of birth. And that's this is when police started taking statements. The time is 11:20 a.m. and 1:13 p.m. Sorry, I read that wrong. The date is 11/20/92. Sorry, but the date, this is at 1:13. So this is around the time that what is that called now? The coroner came to get the body. So let's read this statement and go from there and see. Alrighty. Joey Ferrari states, as far as I know, I was the last one in the school newspaper room before Jamie Banks jumped out of the window. As far as I know. I'm keeping that because I still think Stu was up there, sneaky bugger. Anyway, because why else would you call? Like if Robert Ramiro found the body, why in the fuck would Stu call, right? I need to find Stu's MO because I still don't know that. But even just this sentence by Joey. As far as I know, I was the last one in the school newspaper room before Jamie Banks jumped out of the window today. It was first period and I had study hall in the cafeteria. Mr. Griffin is my teacher there and he lets me go up to the newspaper room if I have a pass from Dr. Gelding to finish up an article or work on Calipart or whatever. Oh, clip art. Okay, so it's Dr. Gelding. Right, that's the school nurse. So it wouldn't be Gelding. It would probably be this teacher that I'm fucking up. It's probably Mr. Griffin then. Did Mr. Griffin... I think Mr. Griffin is who Jamie's with, not Gelding. Because Gelding's a school nurse. And they said that she was close with the teacher. So scrap what I just said in the previous section there. I still think it's a love triangle thing, but I got my people mixed up. Mr. Gelding, Dr. Gelding, is a school nurse. I'm still going to say it's Dr. Griffin. Mr. Griffin. And that's the teacher, right? Because she is close with the teacher, and I thought it was Gelding, but I got that wrong. Anyway. So, let's him do clip art in the newspaper room or whatever. So that makes you wonder, though, too, is Joey part of this? Because as far as he knows, he was the last one up there. So why would Stu call? Still a question. But, did he write her suicide note? Did Joey write the suicide note? Is this like a team effort of murder? There's no way in hell this is a suicide. Anyway, let's keep reading. I'll shut my trap. Oh, and there's a second page for him. Okay, so I signed out of study hall as soon as it started and was in the newspaper room within probably 4 to 5 minutes after the start of first period. When I got there, the door was locked and the lights were out. Since I'm a senior on the newspaper staff, I have a key to the room, so I let myself in and the door shut and automatically locked behind me. Okay. I always work on the computer. That's on the right side of the room, where her fucking note was. Anyway, it took a few minutes to boot up, but pretty soon I was logged in and working on my outline for the story about the game tonight. You never know how a game will unfold. When it comes to Spartan football, I usually have a pretty good idea about the... And that's where... okay, I see. About the outcome before the game even starts. So I write my articles beforehand, and then after the game, I plug in a few game stats, and I'm good to go. So, Jamie was working on something she had. Where is that paper? Speaking of game stats. Now I understand that because I don't play sports. These are the game stats. And that's why it says, talk to Joey, see what he says about the game stats. This must have what sent her up to the room originally. Because remember, I thought it was just because she was like super upsetty spaghetti about said review on Romeo and Juliet. But if she has this note of the game stats, and it says talk to Joey, see what he says, you know, like maybe she was always up to something, right? So she's down there getting stats for said game. Let's continue reading, because maybe I'm not making sense anymore. Okay, so that room gets pretty hot, and at that time of day, so I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the sun, or maybe the heat's broken or something, but I opened the window to let some cool air in. Okay, so he's setting up the room for suicide. Okay. So, I don't know if it was suicide. I think maybe there's a fight then that happens and breaks out between Jamie and some mystery person. Okay, let's keep reading. I lost track of time and suddenly it was 8:50. Okay, so this is like 10 to 9 a.m. This is like an hour and 10 minutes before she allegedly commits suicide. Okay, so I only had 5 minutes to sign back into study hall. So I saved my outline on a floppy, but didn't shut down the computer. Explains why there would be room to write something down. So that floppy disk is definite evidence. You know what I mean? Like, is it just work on there, or do you have Jamie's suicide note that you keep on there and just hide to your little creepy self? Anyway, I was in a rush, but I'm positive I turned off the light and shut the door behind me. I think I left the window open. When I was a sophomore, someone popped open the door once. And some jerks vandalized a bunch of equipment. So Dr. Gelding is really strict about us locking the door behind us ever since. Oh, he's just a doctor. He's a teacher, but he's a teacher, never mind. Why is his name Doctor? Shouldn't it just be Mr.? Unless he's got like a PhD in education. Can you even get a PhD in education? I gotta ask Siri, because I don't know. Don't judge me, because... Hey Siri, can you get a PhD in education?
Here's what I found.
You can get a PhD in education. I don't know how, but alright, whatever. Okay. I barely got to back to study hall. Okay. I barely got back to study hall on time. And was in Italian class until pep rally. So I'm not sure what Jamie went in the newspaper. I'm not sure when Jamie went in the newspaper room. Okay, so he's got an alibi so far until there's another gap. Okay, so Jamie and I both wrote for the school newspaper, and I've known her since the 8th grade. But we weren't super close outside of that. I know she also asked Gelding to be editor this year, but for some reason, he chose Craig instead of either of us. Suspicious. What the hell are those two doing? But okay. Finally, I'd like to go on the record for my prediction for the game tonight. While these two teams are known for their high-power defense, and East Verona is favored to win by a few points, I predict it's going to be a long night for the Spartans, and the Colts will walk away with the championship. Okay. I don't know if that's a metaphor for anything or it's just sports, but that's his statement. Personally, I don't know. Unless this is a photo of Joey. No, this is Sophie Sunday. Never mind, this isn't Joey. This is Sophie Sunday. Hey. Okay, so we're on to our 4th. Hold on, I gotta count. Jesus Lord. Hold on a second. Let me take a gander here. How many statements have I read so far? Oh yeah, this is our 4th and final statement that is available to us right now. So it starts off with a photo of Sophie Sunday. So let's read and see what we got. At this point, I am out of theories. I thought I had it cracked already. Like, I was so excited. I'm like, girl, I got this. And I am quite in the dark, actually. Like, I have ideas, but, like, I've stated them, and they're probably just not right. So here we are. We have the Verona Police Department Person of Interest, Sophie Sunday. Sophie Lynn Sunday. So many people I know with the middle name Lynn. I love that. Okay, and this is her. That's her address for the school. What's this? Okay, so 10:10. Okay, right before 3rd period, I spilled Tab all over my sweater. Tab soda. It was like one of the first diet sodas, I was told, and it was like killing people, so I had to take it off the shelves. Anyway, she spilled killing Tab, like the Killful drink. Anyway, she spilled Tab all over my sweater. I was really upset and wanted to do something about it before it dried on there and left a big stain. It took me a while because I spilled so much of it, and I was crying over spilt soda, you pussy. Anyway, I heard a scream and something hit the ground, so I ran to the window to look out. I had mascara in my eyes, so it was kind of hard to see, but I could still make out that it was Jamie Banks. When I saw Robert Romero run over to her, kneel down beside her, and then take off, I ran down to see if she was okay, and by the time I got there, Olivia Underwood was standing near the body. So, okay, Olivia Underwood, student, question marks. Okay, she was by the body. And then we have Janice Dowling, which is the principal. And she came real quick to the body. So, I'd have to say our person of interest then is Olivia. Next. So, like, were Olivia and Stu in on it? Were they both in the room? I don't know. And this leads us to this witness statement of Sophie Sunday. So let's read it. I was one of the first people to get to Jamie's body this morning. I was in the second floor bathroom when I heard her fall. We had just finished up second period and the pep rally was starting, but I had a major problem. I had just read something in the Voice that made me laugh and spill tab all over my sweater. Just my luck, a huge stain on the day of the big game. So I was in the bathroom when I heard a scream and a jump. I went over to the window and saw her body laying there. At first, I wasn't sure what I was looking at because I had been crying about the stain and had mascara in my eye. Hold on, my light just burnt out. Oh no. Sorry for that. I have one of those heat sensitive lights, and if it gets too hot, it just shuts off. Anyway, where were we? Okay, yeah, she got a stain on the day of the big game. So I was in the bathroom when I heard a scream and a loud thump. I went over to the window and saw her body laying there. At first, I wasn't sure what I was looking at because I'd been crying about the stain and had mascara in my eye. Then I saw Robert Romero run up to her, and that's when I decided to go downstairs and see what was going on. Olivia Underwood had just gotten there when I arrived. Oh, okay, never mind. And she was just standing next to the body. Olivia looked like she was going to throw up. I didn't know Jamie well because I spend most of my time with friends on the cheerleading squad or with my boyfriend Johnny, and she's more into grunge music and acting, I think. Okay. It really makes me sad to think about this. I hope it doesn't affect Johnny in the game tonight. Why would it affect Johnny? Okay. Because, like, if y'all stick to each other, well, not stick to each other, this isn't Human Centipede, but if y'all are that close, why would it affect Johnny? Unless I'm asking questions for things that have no importance, right? Anyway, coming through in a high-stakes game, it's an important step for his career, and I don't want to see anything or anyone get in the way of it. Okay, well, she's focusing on bullshit then. But, I don't know. Maybe Johnny was cheating on her and Jamie knew about it. I don't know. I have no suspect list. I do, but I don't. Like, I still think Stu has something to do with it. Stu Collier. Because he called and Robert found the body. So, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm holding back laughter because I realized I called Robert Romero Richard Ramirez in my last video. They're two very different people, so I'm sorry. Anyway, so this leads us to this tan page here. I don't know if these are still statements or what, but Verona Police Department, and this is beginning of the interview. So the detective, who is this with though? Oh, this is an interview with Sophie Sunday with her case number. Okay, so these are interviews now with the police. So, all right, so these are all interviews we have. Okay, so hold on a second here, because that should be with this, maybe, perhaps. Hold on. Okay, so we got statements, this blue piece of paper with a small statement. I think that was just at the crime. Photo of Sophie Sunday. And then our 4 previous statements as well. So technically we had 5 statements in total of people. So, okay. Those are our statements. I don't know. I think maybe Dr. Gelding and Jamie were fucking around. And Craig saw it, like I said. I don't know why I'm hung up on that. But then where does Stu come in to this, right? Because we've gotten statements from everybody else but Stu, right? So next we have a chunk. This is weird. Okay. We got more statements in blue pieces of paper here with photos. So this is, okay. How did this get so mumble jumbled? Did I drop a bunch of paper? Because apparently this is supposed to be in with the interview paper of Sophie Sunday. So I must have got those papers mixed up. Sorry about that. This blue paper is a small statement piece. These are just... I could have saved us a lot of time. Jesus Lord. These are small statement pieces from all of the people. Girl. Maybe not, because Johnny wasn't in the previous statement. Okay, so enough about this. Let's get down to business to defeat these Huns. So, this is the beginning of the interview. So, detective says, state your name for our records, please. Sophie Sunday says, me? I'm Sophie Sunday. Detective, Sophie, do you know why you're here? Sophie, because I saw the body? Detective, sort of. We're questioning everyone that wasn't at the pep rally to find out if... Okay. So we're questioning everyone who wasn't at the pep rally to find out if they have any more information. I'm sorry. This is sad. Okay. There was a picture taken of everyone in the gym at the same time when Jamie fell. So, let's look at that photo really quick here, because this is what he's talking about. This is the pep rally photo, okay? All the students. So, apparently, we're finding out now that the Sophie Sunday wasn't there. Robert Ramiro wasn't there. What's-his-face? Craig was up there doing clip art and whatever the fuck. And, or no, was it Craig? Well, there's so much information flowing in my head. I'm so terrible at this. Who the fuck was that? Oh yeah, it was Craig Zimmerman who said... Oh. No, Joey. Sorry, let's go back. Joey was in the computer room. Robert was in the bathroom. What's-her-face spilt tab on her body, so she wasn't there. Olivia came with the principal after, so I'm going to put those two down. Stu wasn't there, so Stu, Sophie, Robert, and Craig. No, not Craig, Joey. So Joey, Sophia, Robert, and Stu weren't there when this pep rally was taken. This pep rally photo. So, those are our 4 suspects. Those are the 4 people that weren't there to prove that Jamie Banks was not alone. So that's what I think anyways. There's still a lot of interviews and things to go off of. So anyway, let's continue reading and see what... Okay, so here we go. He says, sort of, to see, and you weren't in it. And so Sophie says, I'm just going to reread that, okay? Because she's like, because I saw the body. Detective, sort of, but we're questioning everybody who wasn't in the pep rally to find out if they have any more information. There was a picture taken of everyone in the gym at the same time when Jamie fell. You weren't in it. So already they're just saying you're a suspect in this whole thing. And Sophie says, was Johnny in the picture? Johnny Roca. Detective, what's making you ask that? See, maybe somebody was fucking around with Johnny. Johnny and Jamie found out. She was going to write a big article on unfaithful football players or something. Meanwhile, she's fucking Dr. Gelding. That is my theory. And Craig is a suspect with Stu because Craig, crime of passion. He was like, I wanted you to be mine. That's my theory. Let's keep reading. Anyway, detective asks, what makes you say that? Sophie goes on to say, well, when I wrote my statement, I didn't say he was with me, but he was. Detective, in the girls' bathroom. Sophie, yeah. Is Johnny going to get in trouble for this? Okay, so now Johnny is suspect number 5, because he too is not at this magic pep rally. So he's like, what were you two doing in there? She goes, well, I asked Johnny to wait outside the bathroom for me while I tried to clean up the stain I had gotten on my sweater. Can you believe what happened on the day of the big game? Anyway, boys will be boys, and Johnny wouldn't stay out. He snuck into the bathroom, and we started kissing. Please don't spread that around. I don't want him to get in trouble for being in there. He's got the championship to focus on. He'd only been in there a moment, and that's when we heard her fall. There was a scream and a loud thump. It was awful. Detective goes, what happened then? She goes on to say, we ran over to the window and looked down. She was just laying there. I had some mascara in my eyes, so I couldn't really tell what I was seeing at first. That's when I saw Robert Ramiro run over to her, so I decided to go down there to see what was going on, or if I could help or something. Detective, could you tell it was Jamie? Could you tell it was Jamie from the window? Sophie goes, not right away, but yes. Detective, why didn't Johnny go with you? With a long pause. Sophie. So he asked why Johnny... So it would have been like this. Why didn't Johnny go with you? Sophie. You know what I mean? She spaced out at that point. Sophie goes, I told him not to. I was afraid he'd get into trouble for being in the girls' bathroom when he was supposed to be at the pep rally. Okay. That gives him an alibi. And that gives her an alibi too. So they have alibis for stupid bullshit. So that makes sense. But where did Johnny run off to then? Did he run to the gym? Like, she didn't specify. Anyway, detectives, you seem very protective of Johnny. Sophie. Well, of course, he's my boyfriend, and I'd do anything for him. I don't want anything to stand in the way of his career. Detective. Anything, huh? Would you lie for him? Ooh, he's a suspect. Okay, Sophie. Johnny has nothing to hide. Detective. You didn't answer my question. Would you lie to protect Johnny? Sophie. There's no reason to, so no. Okay. Detective says, are you sure of Johnny being involved in any sports betting? Sophie. Betting. He wouldn't do that. Johnny says he hates gambling, and anyone who says otherwise about him is a liar. Detective. You're sure? Sophie. Positive. Detective. Did it bother you that Johnny and Jamie were close? Ooh, that's new. Unless it has stated that prior and I'm just that stupid. Anyway, Sophie. No, because they weren't close. At all. She's not his type. Detective. They dated a few years ago though, right? Are you sure of that? Oh, Sophie. Of course I'm sure. Of course I've been... Oh my gosh. Oh, I bet you anything they were fucking around. It's not the teacher. Because Craig even said it's not like her to have an affair. She's single. He's not. Technical affair. Anyway, that being said, let's read on. Okay, anyway, he said, of course, I'm aware of it. I know everything there is to know about Johnny. But that was ages ago, and it meant nothing to him. Detective. There's a rumor that Jamie was in a secret relationship. Maybe it was with Johnny. Ooh. Sophie. That's absurd. Detective. Not really. I mean, maybe holy crap. Maybe she actually is his type. But you're the coach's daughter, and it'd be better for his football career to date you than if his heart belonged to someone else. Sophie. No way. Listen, I know that what Johnny's up to 24/7. That's not healthy. Anyway, and he certainly hasn't been having any secret relationship with Jamie. He's my boyfriend. No one else's. And I'll do everything in my power to make sure it stays that way. Fuck. Maybe she's the murderer after all this. Maybe her and Stu kind of just... Maybe it's not even Stu. But she's a definite suspect. Okay, anyway. Detective. Including getting rid of the competition? Sophie. There is no competition. Detective. Okay, let's get back to what happened when you went to see the body. Did you immediately know who it was? She says, yeah, I already knew it was Jamie from the bathroom window before I even got down there. She was in pretty bad shape, and I still had some mascara in my eyes, but I knew it was her. Detective: how far would you say you were from the victim? Sophie says, I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 feet. Detective: who else was there at the body? Sophie: Olivia Underwood. It was just me and her until Mrs. Dowling and all the teachers got there. Detective: is there anything else that you want to add? Sophie: no, nothing. Just please don't tell anyone Johnny was in the girls' bathroom with me. Can you promise me? Detective: I'll be in touch if I have any more questions. End of interview. So, she's your typical possessive cheerleader high school girlfriend. I don't know. Maybe she did kill her because she's not possessive. Like, crime of passion in the sense of her saying, oh, you're a threat, you know. Because, you know, well, humans are animals. Anyways, y'all, this is all I have time for in today's video. It's an hour long. We're going to have to do a part 3, and that'll be coming a lot quicker. I'm not going to make you wait as long. But if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to sneakily squeeze that like button and hit that subscribe button so I can have some detectives on my team to help me crack these cases. Anyways, guys, I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!